Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
You're good at making big announcements. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
You want a sports degree that is beyond the game? A degree that immerses you from day one and launches you into the business side of sports. With a sports management major from IUPUI's School of Health and Human Sciences, you'll have insider access to sports professionals and will learn from faculty with years of teaching and industry experience. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to launch your sport industry career.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
Can I help you?
Yeah, I'd like to order a hamburger, fries, salt, maybe a large vanilla shake.
This is a trophy shop, can't you tell?
You got carry out?
Everything that you need we have here at the shop. Very unique. You order today, carry out tonight. That's our version of carry out.
All right, I'll take one of everything.
Well, that may take a little longer. We'll have it for you tomorrow night.
I'll be back tomorrow to pick it up.
We'll be waiting for you.
Bertner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people...
There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
You're good at keeping the car clean. We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
High school sports fans, welcome back to Game Time, to pure spirit, to pure sport. Welcome back to high school sports.
Fans, I'm IHSAA Commissioner Paul Knighty, and I just want to say, welcome back.
This is Game Time. This is Indiana high school sports. This is your IHSAA.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
You're good at basement basketball.
We're good at your insurance.
Start with Indiana Farm Bureau Insurance, online, over the phone, or in person, and stop knocking on wood.
Mortgage Group. I've been teaching here at Guerin Catholic for 13 years. I've been assistant coach also for 13 years. And I think it's important in today's world that we have young people growing up with the morals and values of faith-based education.
Hello, I'm Dwayne Thompson with Integrity Mortgage Group, and I support Guerin Catholic High School because I'm good friends and business partners with assistant coach Tommy Mascari. And any chance I have to support a Christ-centered education for today's youth, I take advantage of that opportunity and support in any way I can with my time, effort, volunteering, funds, and commercials like these.
Together we soar.
Guerin Catholic Sports on IndianaSRN,
where you're always in the game.
Well, good early evening to you as we come to you live from Heritage Christian School on the north side of town. It is IHSAA baseball here on IndianaSRN. Thank you so much for joining us for this Circle City Conference matchup today. This matchup is brought to you by the Morales Group, Bertner Electric, IUPUI Sports Management Institute, Piper Logistics, and Reynolds Farm Equipment of Fishers. once again. Good evening to you. I'm Sean Crawl along with Troy Darren-Gowski as we are set for this Circle City Conference matchup as Covenant Christian comes in to Heritage Christian for this first of a 2-game series between the two teams. Covenant Christian is 3-3 on the season, 1-2 in the conference. Heritage Christian, however, on a 7-game winning streak, 7-2 and 2-2 in the conference. And Troy, we've got us quite a matchup today, especially on the bump, as we have Quincy Harper pitching for the Eagles and Brock Buckley for the Warriors.
Well, I have seen Brock Buckley, and we saw him against Guerin just a few days ago. In fact, it was a windy, cold day, kind of like what we're seeing today, and he only gave up 1 run to Guerin, and that was a pretty good hitting baseball team at that time. They didn't play the next night because of rain, so that was a big win for Covenant that night. So I'm excited to see what Buckley can do again tonight against a lineup that I would consider is a little bit better than what we saw in Guerin, because these guys can hit the baseball at Heritage.
They can. As you look at the stats a little bit, team overall stats, Heritage Christian hitting .344 as a team, 10 doubles, 5 home runs. They can flat out rake. Their struggles a little bit have been on the pitching side with a 5.65 team ERA. It's kind of the opposite for Covenant Christian, batting only .224 as a team, but team ERA at .342. So you kind of got like the opposites attract matchup here. Which one is going to kind of take the upper hand first?
Well, and when you look at this Heritage Christian baseball team, and those numbers, I think, pitching-wise, might be a little bit inflated, because if you go back to their first couple of games of the year, they gave up 15 and 15 in those 2 losses to Ron Colley. 30 runs in 2 games. If you minimize that number pitching-wise looks a lot better. Hitting-wise, as you said, they're 30th in the state in hitting. They're 7th in runs scored on the season. They're 17th in the state in home runs. And I could go on, and I'm sure we will throughout the entire night. So Brock Buckley is going to have his work cut out for him tonight. We talked about it against the Guerin game. He has to keep his baseball low in the strike zone, no matter what. He cannot make mistakes today against Heritage Christian. The benefit he had against Guerin was Guerin ran themselves out of a couple of innings. It enabled him to stay in the ball game, and he really offset Guerin the entire night, really kept him off balance throughout the evening.
And that's interesting, because one of the things this Heritage Christian team does like to do is steal bases. They like to run. They do have quite a few stolen bases on the year, and they're not afraid to get out and get after it. Dan Ambrose has always been a very aggressive coach in terms of what he likes to do. Chris Stevenson in his 3rd year, I believe. Ambrose in his 26th. Different coaching styles. But I think both these squads know each other so well.
Yeah.
That plays a huge part in it.
And it does, and it's going to be a huge challenge tonight for Covenant Christian catcher Nolan Jones. You mentioned the stolen bases. They're 15th in the state with 39 stolen bases in just 9 games. And I love teams that like to steal and be aggressive, because it puts a lot of pressure, number one, on your catcher. It puts pressure on your pitcher, because you get people on base, and he's got to keep his eye on not only what he has to do at the plate, but what he has to do on the bases as well. I know a lot of college coaches love that, because if you can split their concentration level, somewhere they're going to make a mistake.
We'll talk a little bit about how many stolen bases Brock Buckley has given up while he's in the bump. After this break, you are watching high school baseball on IndianaSRN. Back here at Heritage Christian School for this Circle City Conference matchup between Heritage Christian and Covenant Christian. Take a little deeper dive, Troy, if we will, into the starting pitchers for tonight's game. We'll start with the visitors. Brock Buckley, 2-0 with a .70 ERA, 20 innings pitched, 17 hits, 7 runs, only 2 earned runs, 32 strikeouts, 221 opponent's batting average, and a 294 on-base percentage. Those are pretty good numbers.
Very, very good numbers, and again, against some pretty good teams. Guerin was a team that was hitting almost, I think, around the 350 mark when they played them. I'm not sure what their numbers are now, but they were really stinging the baseball at that time, and he held them in check. As I mentioned, they did run themselves out of the inning a couple of times, and that hurt them. But when you have a player like Buckley, and I think he's going to Indiana Wesleyan to play football and baseball,
yes, he is. Yeah.
So he's a heck of an athlete, and they're really going to need him tonight. I mean, he's got to be on his game tonight, and he knows, listen, as you said, they know each other very well. They've done their scouting report. They know what the numbers look like. If he can be on target tonight, he's got to be that way the entire ballgame. They have a chance.
Yeah, broadcasting both these squads for years as we have, it's interesting talking to Brock Buckley's dad. He said when he's on, catcher can put out a Dixie cup and he can hit it.
Yeah.
He's going to need that tonight against this offensive squad because you look up and down the line, when their OPSs run a number left of the decimal, that's pretty good. You've got 3 guys like that for Heritage Christian and a couple guys in the 900s. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, and may I say, too, when you look at their numbers, and only the slugging percentage, you already mentioned the OPS, the numbers just keep getting bigger and bigger as you go down that line.
They do. Let's take a look at Quincy Harper. He is the pitcher tonight for Heritage Christian, 1-0 with a 3.23 ERA, 9 runs, 4 of them earned, 16 Ks, 206 on opponent batting average, but a 400 OBP. That tells you when guys hit the ball, they don't do much with it, but the walks, I think, play a little bit of an issue with that higher on-base percentage for Quincy.
Yeah, I mean, it's at every level. If you walk people and put people on base, it's going to kill you every time, and he really is going to need to cut down on that today because you think about Buckley, not only good pitcher, very good hitter. We saw Rapogel hit a home run. It was a towering shot when he hit that home run against Guerin the other night. So he's the number 3 guy that can really hit the baseball. And then Nardi, number 4, if he can cut down on some of the strikeouts, compact that swing a little bit, he's very tough there. So the top of that order can be very, very good.
Yeah, I think one of the things Coach Ambrose is really kind of harping on with Harper on is look at their numbers. When they hit the baseball, they don't do much. So let them hit the ball and let your defense behind you take care of you.
Yeah.
Don't put guys on base with the walk because that will hurt any pitcher at any level.
Well, and it hurts you, too, because as a fielder, you don't like standing there watching guys get on base for free. You want them to earn it a little bit.
Exactly. That is 100% the case. They're going for the lineups. We will go through the lineups as we go on further. But right now, we will take a break and be back with the starting lineups and baseball here on Indiana SRN.
From warehousing to transportation and everything in between, Piper Logistics does it all. Centrally located, Piper Logistics has 2 warehouses in Indianapolis and a warehouse in Cincinnati, Ohio. Piper Logistics houses over 1 million square feet. Along with our transportation department, we can provide service to half the United States markets.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
You want a career that creates experiences that are impossible to forget. By studying sports and events at IUPUI, you'll get hands-on experience in and out of the classroom. And with Indy as your classroom, there are high-profile events, sports franchises, hotels, museums, and large organizations across the city to engage, educate, and enlighten your student journey before you graduate. There isn't a better city than Indianapolis to get the experience you need to prepare you to handle any event, big or small. It all starts here.
This is the Frells family's land. When the sun comes out, the kids run and play right there. This used to be a shed. Now, it's where they get breakfast. This is more than just land. It's home. The Frells family runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. This land isn't the only thing that should live on for generations. Nothing runs like a Deere. Search John Deere 1 Series for more.
Visit Reynolds Farm Equipment, your hometown John Deere dealer today at reynoldsfarmequipment.com.
At Morales Group Staffing, we are all about building better futures. And during these times, we are working hard to put people to work. We are now hiring for hundreds of jobs with pay up to $17 an hour. Visit our website at moralesgroup.net or text JOBS, JOBS, to 317-472-7600 to apply now and get hired today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
And we are about ready for baseball here from Heritage Christian School as the homestanding Eagles take on Covenant Christian. Time for some lineups for Covenant Christian Warriors. Again, coming in 3-3, 1-2 in the conference. Leading off and playing right field, Nolan Moore. Hitting second and pitching, Brock Buckley. Hitting third and playing shortstop, Trey Replogle. Batting fourth in center field, Brad Nardi. Playing third base and hitting fifth, Ethan Kimmerly. First baseman hitting sixth, Jackson Ware. The catcher, Nolan Jones, hits seventh. Ty Gillespie playing second base is eighth. And Jamison Laughlin, the left fielder, is ninth. Again on the mound for Heritage Christian is Quincy Harper. 1-0, 3.23 ERA. Defensively, they set up like this. Barrett behind the mound. Harper on the bump. Kurtz, Allmeyer, Ambrose, and Fields from third to first. Baker in left field. Wiggins in center. Dorsch in right. It is 3:15 down the left field line, about a 20-foot high fence. Heading out towards left center where it is 365. And that short porch in right at 300. And we are about set for some baseball, Troy.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, these guys have had to battle through some bad weather and cold weather, and eventually it's going to get nice, but tonight it'll be a little bit cool. You see the wind is going to be blowing out toward right field. See if that'll be a factor tonight, as you mentioned, with that short right field fence.
As we get set for first pitch, Quincy Harper set to pitch to Nolan Moore. 4.21 on the year is Moore. A little bit low and inside for ball one. Moore has a 1.174 OPS. That is on-base percentage plus slugging. He has 4 doubles on the season. Nice off-speed pitch for strike one.
We did that Covenant game against Guerin, and the one thing that stood out for Covenant, they were caught looking 4 times in that ball game, struck out 8 overall, but those early strikeouts really hurt them.
Fouled off to the left side. 1-2 is the count. So far, so good for Harper in getting the ball over the plate.
I'm sure that's one thing that Covenant had to work on, was making sure they don't look at really good pitches, let them go by early in the ball game.
Another off-speed pitch. Hang him and bang him, but he got him to pull it foul.
They moved Buckley up to number 2 in the order tonight. He was hitting in the number 4 spot in that game against Guerin, but they need him on base a little bit more.
There's a rip into center field. Wiggins going back and under it. Pretty good contact there from Moore, but flying out to center field for out number 1.
Now you can see how the ball's going to carry a little bit here tonight. As we mentioned, the wind will be blowing from behind us. We'll see if that'll be a factor. But in that other game against Guerin, it was blowing even harder in that ball game. Only had the 1 home run.
You can see the flag blowing kind of from left to right as Buckley is up to the dish, takes ball 1. He's hitting 400 on the season, has 1 triple, 5 RBIs. Known more, however, for his pitching prowess. Fouled straight back, and it's nice to work with a guy that doesn't flinch, as Keith Myers does for foul balls.
Even with the cage and the
there could be 13 things of protection, and Keith would still flinch. Hope you're watching, Keith. Love you. Inside corner, 2-1 the count on Buckley. Replogle on deck.
Buckley has a really good eye at the plate. He's not going to swing at anything that's really out of the strike zone.
Outside corner, just a bit outside, 3-1 the count. Hitters count right here.
Yeah.
So you got to wonder if he's going to take a pitch or if he's...
I think it's good. He's going to take a whack at it. Yep.
He did. Nice pitch there by Harper. Full count here. Fouled it off to the right. And a walk. Nice at bat there by Buckley to get to first base.
Warriors number 2, the shortstop, Trey Replogle.
Trey Replogle hitting .222 on the year.
Well, you know what? And the one thing about Replogle is he's a guy that can hit with power. He saw him hit a home run in that matchup against Garrens. You got to be really careful not letting him extend his arms.
Pickoff throw to first. Very right-handed heavy lineup here for Covenant Christian too. Nardi's a righty. I believe Kimberly is too, as well as Ware. Not sure if they have any lefties.
Yeah, I don't think they played any in the matchup against Garrens, so.
Ooh. Way inside there. Want to know the count? Now, if you're Coach Stevenson here, knowing you got Buckley on the mound, do you play small ball? Or do you let Replogle?
And they will. I mean, they play really well when it comes to sacrificing and such. But I think you let this guy hit right here because of the power he has.
High up in the air. Coming back, and that's going to be out of play. Hope nobody's car was over there.
You know, when he hit that home run the other night, came back in, actually was in the 4th inning. They were not hitting well right there. In fact, I know they only scored 3 runs in the entire ball game, but he was the one that got him going. And it was, I know it was wind aided a little bit, but it would have gone out no matter whether the wind was blowing or not. He hit it that well.
Kurt's right on the edge of the grass there, as that's high and tight for ball 2, as hard as Replogle can hit the ball. If you're Kurt's, boy, you're going to have those quick reflexes if you're playing on the fringe right there.
Yeah, no kidding. Well, you notice how Harper's going high in the inside, and now you want to go low and away if you can right here.
Everybody's pretty much straight up defensively. Let's see. The runner was off, fouled back, even the count at 2.
Well, he had a great jump, too. And that's one thing Buckley can do. He'll steal bases. He's a very, very intelligent player down at first base, and he read that well.
3 stolen bases on the season for Buckley. Although you might not mind that too much with the hit and run with the foul off, because you want to try and wear Buckley out a little bit on the base pass. And he gets the stolen base, which will get him to second. Runs the count full on Replogle.
Well, Barnett didn't have a good pitch to handle right there at all. That pitch was way outside. He would have thrown him out. I'd have left the building.
Yeah, the breaking balls, man, they're so hard, especially with a good jump like that. But let's see how he does here from the stretch again. Oh, check swing off. Throw to first is going to be high, and in comes Buckley for the run on the strikeout and the error.
Covenant Christian scores the first run of the game, lead the ball game 1-0.
We'll see if they give that a pass ball or a wild pitch.
Well, I think first off it was low enough into the dirt. It's probably going to be a wild pitch. And then you had, of course, the throwing error down to first base that gives you a double negative there. But for Covenant Christian, able to take advantage of the mistake early in the ballgame.
And then an error on the catcher as well on that. And now we got a balk, which will put a runner at second. With 1 out when Nardi hasn't even taken a pitch yet.
And I think this is a good maneuver right here. Barnett coming out, going to settle him down a little bit. Just, hey, listen, everything's okay. It's early in the ball game. You just give up the 1 run, get out of the inning, and then we'll go let our bats do the work.
Listen, that is a very smart move there by the catcher. Just settle him down a little bit. Say, our defense has you.
You know as well as I do, young guys they all get a little bit frustrated sometimes, and you just got to keep your composure and remember what stage of the ball game you're in.
Oh, yeah, getting the strikeout, but then having the wild pitch and then the error on top of that is going to get you frustrated, and he just lost a moment of concentration as that's fouled off to the left. And that happens even at the major league level.
Yeah. Well, and that's what we talked about a little bit ago. Do you want to run? And certainly when we look at the other side, we'll see Heritage do the same thing as far as running.
Nardi gets into one. That's going to stay in the ballpark, though, as Wiggins in center field. Oh, it's a good throw, and it hits Replogle, and he's going to score. Good throw by Wiggins into Allmeyer, but Allmeyer with the relay to third base, it hits. Replogle bounces away, and Replogle scores.
Coming to the plate.
Well, a couple of mistakes there, and really the relay was a really good throw from Wiggins. He did exactly what he needed to do. Unfortunately, the ball relayed to third base, ends up hitting the runner, and unfortunately for Heritage, another run scored.
And there's a rip into the gap by Ethan Kimberly on the first pitch. Rolls all the way to the wall, and he's going to get into second with a stand-up double on the first pitch.
Coming to the plate for the Warriors, number 12, the first baseman, Jackson.
One thing we do see is the arm of Wiggins in center field. We have it on good authority that they prefer he play center field before he pitches instead of after he pitches, which is why he's not on the bump tonight. But you can tell kid's got pretty good hose out there in center field. They will not run on him very often. On an overthrow on an easy chance to get the runner as Kimberly's coming into the plate, and there's going to be safe on the stolen base in E2.
They lead the ball game 3-0.
So early mistakes by Heritage, and all of them, when you look at it at this stage of the ball game, we may not know a whole lot about it till the end, but some early mistakes they probably need to really think of, boy, I tell you what, we've got to sharpen this thing up pretty quickly.
Yeah, and coming in, you know, at 3-3, seeing the 7-2 record for Heritage, they couldn't ask for a better start to this game. Now they just have to go out and execute on the defensive end. But like we said, these bats of Heritage Christian are no joke. Ground ball to short. Allmeyer up with it. Over to Fields for the putout. 6-3 in your books. That'll be 3 outs. 3 runs. We'll figure out with the errors and the hits. We'll come back after this on IndianaSRN.
Allmeyer.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Back for the bottom of the first here at Heritage Christian School, a 3 spot for the Warriors in the top of the first, and Brock Buckley takes the mound to face the lineup put out by Coach Dan Ambrose in his 26th year. Leading off and playing center field, Andrew Wiggins, the IU commit. Playing hitting second, the shortstop, Tyler Allmeyer. Playing right field and hitting third, Jonathan Dorsch. Hitting cleanup and playing first base, Tyler Fields. The left fielder, Ethan Baker. Hitting fifth, Rainer Kurtz is playing third base and hitting sixth. The catcher, Zane Barrett, is hitting seventh. Quincy Harper is hitting eighth, and Ryan Williams is the DH hitting ninth. He is DHing for Mr. Ambrose, who plays second base.
Leading off for the Eagles tonight, the center fielder, number 22, Andrew Wiggins.
Wiggins will lead off for this squad, and, you know, he's only got .455 average and 3 home runs and 9 RBIs.
That's it?
Yeah, that's,
what's he been doing the first 9 games, huh?
Yeah.
Well, it really does begin and end with this young man right here at the top of your order, because he gets on base and he can wreak a lot of havoc against opposing pitchers and catchers.
That is outside for a ball. We've seen so far from the umpire, not really given too much on either side of the plate. He got that one, though, just as I say, an announcer's jinx.
Well, you can tell he took something off that pitch, and he's got a very good breaking ball. He's got a good fastball. When it's warm, I think he can get up near 90.
Good off-speed pitch there. You can see Wiggins, a little bit of an open stance, that back foot really close to the inside part of the batter's box, wants to cover all the plate. Back to the screen, evens the count at 2. But
2-2.
This young man is put together for sure, and he is quite the get for the program down in Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, I know they're looking forward to having him in their program, especially on the mound.
Chopper to Replogle over to first, and it is beat out. There is the speed of Andrew Wiggins as he beats that ground ball to short, that high grass. I'm saying maybe that's why Coach Ambrose keeps it high, so he can get those infield hits as the first runner is on for the Eagles.
Well, now we'll play the little cat and mouse game here because we've already talked about Buckley giving up, I think, would you say, 9 stolen bases since he's been on the mound. So we'll see if he can keep Wiggins within distance here.
And first pitch is swung at and missed by Tyler Allmeyer, 320 on the year. He's got 2 doubles, 8 RBIs. Yeah, 1 batter in, and Brock Buckley is in the stretch. So we'll see what happens. That pickoff throw trying to keep Wiggins close to the bag to avoid the stolen base. Replogle shaded way over to the left side, so you imagine on any plays, Gillespie, the second baseman, will be covering the bag on a stolen base attempt.
Well, we mentioned it earlier. We're talking about a team that one of the top teams in the state in stolen bases with 39 coming in.
Fouled straight back, and that is quite a move, the very quick first step from Buckley as he comes to the mound off of the stretch. He's really shortening it up to prevent the stolen base. Decent move.
Yeah, that was. In fact, we saw him against Guerin pick off a runner. They got a little bit too anxious at first base, so he's got a really good move at first, and I think you saw maybe that best move right there.
Kimberly on the grass at third. Hit and run and fouled off to the right side into the batting cage area is Allmeyer.
Yeah, Wiggins got a really good jump down to first base, so now Buckley's going to have to keep him a little bit closer this time. You got a good contact hitter at the plate. Wouldn't be surprised to see him do it again.
We saw it with Covenant. I wouldn't be. There it is. Here he goes again, and he gets plunked. And hit by pitch, and now you get runners at first and second with nobody out, and this is exactly the answer you wanted for Heritage Christian.
Yeah, they're going to come back, and Buckley knows that as well. He tried to come inside with a pitch, took something off of it. It wasn't a fastball, and he tried to get that inside portion of the plate, but unfortunately hit the batter. Now he's got to face a guy that in the number 3 hole that's just another one of those guys can sting the baseball, tied 44th in the state in hitting.
Hitting .500 on the year, and he's got 10 RBIs, and they bunt with him down the third baseline, strike 1. Jonathan Dorsch is signed to play baseball at the collegiate level, and for some reason I am spacing on where it's at. I feel like it's Indiana Wesleyan maybe. He could play with Buckley next year.
Yeah, no kidding.
Guy hitting .500 after 9 games. You got him bunting. That tells you everything about Coach Ambrose and what he likes to do. What a breaking ball there by Buckley. 0-2 to count on Dorsch.
Yeah, I kind of like that idea of bunting early when you think about your third baseman. He's still not coming in, so I think they've given up the bunt idea, but it really makes you think as a defensive player.
Really got to cover the plate and protect here with 2 strikes if you're Dorsch. At the very least, you want to move the runners over.
Yeah.
Get a pitch you can pull, hit it to the right side, move the runners over, get you 2 guys in scoring position with 1 out.
We talked about the pressure on the catcher, Jones, when you have all these base runners. He's not a really strong-arm catcher behind the plate, and he ends up winding up a lot as well on his throws.
Right back to Buckley. He's going to go to third for 1. Can they get 2? Nice try for a pick there at first base from Ware, but the short hop throw does not work. It'll be a fielder's choice as it goes. Higgins is out 1-5 for the first out. Allmeyer goes to third, and on the fielder's choice, Dorsch gets to first.
A good play there by Buckley, and made the play, had to down at third. Good fielding pitcher right there, and now you get an opportunity to get a ground ball double play right here and get yourself out of the inning. You're in really good shape.
Yeah, get that lead runner, which was the smart move by Buckley. There's another chopper. Probably going to be too slow of a chopper to get the double play, but the out is at first, 6-3, and a run scores.
Eagles score 1. Now coming to the plate.
Allmeyer scores on the ground out. Dorsch gets to second on the play.
Yeah, that ball hit the grass, and maybe on turf it would have gotten there in time, maybe get the force down at second base, but with the grass the way it is right now, the only play they had was at first base.
Smart play by Replogle not to try and do too much there, and got the out as swing and miss by Baker. He's hitting fifth and only hitting 333.
That's
goodness,
it, yeah.
You know?
Well, yeah, you got to move him down the order when you're hitting 333. So.
Yeah. Back in the day, as the old man that I am, guys hit 330 homers and 100 RBIs. That was a great season, and now it's all-star break numbers for some guys.
Well, I mentioned a little bit ago what was Wiggins is 40th in slugging percentage, and yet he's one of the best in the state. I know sometimes the numbers can be a little bit inflated at times, but then you look at Dorsch hitting 500, and he's only tied for 44th.
And even with this Indiana weather, there are balls flying around all over the diamond being sprayed by these hitters. And it can't be too fun being a pitcher. Oh, they called him out on the pickoff at second base. Dorsch gets picked off.
At the end of 1.
So that means Baker will start the second inning at the dish. 1 for the Eagles, 3-1 after 1. Come back on IndianaSRN.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We are back 3-1. Runner picked off at second. We do have the replay of that play to end the inning, Troy. And what do you got?
Well, it was no doubt a close play, and I don't think that when you look at it there, you think he beat it back, but I'm pretty sure that the way that the runner acted, that he didn't get his hand all the way on the base, or maybe the swipe ended up taking the hand off. Either way, great move by Buckley.
Yeah, that was a quick tag by Replogle, too. Very Javi Baez-esque.
Yes.
Although, it does hurt me to see him in a Detroit Tigers uniform.
I bet it does.
I'll be okay. I'll be okay. All right, we have 7, 8, 9 coming up coming to Christian, Nolan Jones, Ty Gillespie, and Jamison Laughlin. Jones coming up. He's hitting .211 on the season with 4 RBIs. The catcher for the Warriors. Harper got the inside corner for strike 1.
I'm always curious how a pitcher will come back in the next inning after he had a rough first inning, whether it was his fault or not, and he ends up plunking Jones right there. But you want to see your guy come back really strong in that second inning.
Coming to the plate for
that
the
is
Warriors,
one hit by pitch for each squad now. So now you got to go back to the stretch with nobody out here in the second. They're going to get that courtesy runner for the catcher, which is allowed, and that will be Gavin Tyndall.
Gavin Tyndall is running for the Warriors at first base.
The courtesy runner. In high school sports, you can have a pinch runner for pitchers and catchers.
Yes. We saw him play against Guerin, and really a very fast player, good base runner.
Outside for ball 1. Didn't get a very big lead until Harper started to commit to the plate. Being held on over there by Fields. He's getting a little bit of a lead here now. There's that inside corner now. The umpire, sometimes it takes a little bit for them to kind of get a feel for the zone, but to right-handed hitters, that inside strike now is where you want to go. Kurtz on the grass at third. Runner takes off, throws sails to the right, and away from Ambrose and into third is Nolan Jones.
Well, that'll be a stolen base, and, of course, tack on the air on that as well on the throw that goes into center field. So, we're talking so much about Heritage maybe stealing bases and being aggressive on the base paths. We're seeing Covenant doing that right now.
Take advantage of it, because maybe it's a case of, now Barrett's really thinking about it as that's lifted in towards right field. Fields giving it a shot, couldn't quite catch up to it. So that'll be 1-2 the count on Gillespie.
Well, I have to keep going back to that Guerin game. What we saw with Covenant is they took advantage of so many mistakes, especially in the base running side that Guerin committed. I think they ran themselves out of 3 innings, and Covenant took advantage of every one of them, and so far they're doing that again tonight.
Harper in a tough position now with nobody out and a runner on third. Middle infield playing back. At the corners, they're playing in. Fields and Kurtz on the grass. Kurtz is shading a little bit towards the bag just to keep Jones a little bit close, but anything up the middle of the field will get that run home. And it's a ground ball to short. Allmeyer up with it. Throw to first. 6-3 on the out, but the RBI for Gillespie as Jones scores.
Yeah, Gillespie did exactly what he needed to do, put the ball in play. It was a slow roller, nothing the shortstop could do there. You get the run, and that's exactly what Gillespie had to do right there. Great play.
Yeah, Jameson Laughlin coming to the dish now, but a lot of people don't understand the philosophy of productive outs, and that was an extremely productive out. No outs, runner on third. You see the guys playing deep in the middle. Well, you can let the ball travel, but if you get a pitch you can handle and get it up the middle, that run's going to score without a doubt.
Well, and that's what, when you at least look at Covenant in that game against Guerin that I keep referring to, is they let a lot of baseballs go right down the middle of the plate, didn't make contact. Well, that's not the case so far today, despite the mistakes made early by Heritage Christian. They're putting the ball in play here tonight. They're not standing there watching good pitches.
2-1 the count on Laughlin. Nolan Moore, the leadoff hitter, on deck. Chopper to third. 8 Kurtz up, and that'll be another error. In between hop there, just really
for the Eagles,
ate him up.
And the Warriors, number 13.
Now you got a runner on base with Nolan Moore. He flied out to center field, top of the first.
Yeah, that was one of those that he let that ball play him. Probably should have charged it knowing it was coming up off the high hop and would have died on the grass. So the third baseman really needs to let that go play the baseball, not let it play him.
Another case of, Harper, making good pitches and getting things that he wants, but things happen around him. How does he handle this mentally to come back to try and get a ground ball here up the middle of the field and see if they can roll one over and get 2? There's a good pitch right there.
Well, you do have to have a pretty even-keeled demeanor as a pitcher because things aren't always going to be going your way. And I know that for this young man here tonight, he's got 4 errors behind him, so he knows eventually he's got to settle down and just keep doing what he's supposed to do.
Ripped way out in front, pulls it foul. 0-2 the count.
And you know as well as I do and anybody else that knows baseball, sometimes then you end up trying a little bit too hard, and then you make even more mistakes and accentuate the problem even further. So he's got to stay within his boundaries of what he can do as a pitcher.
Yeah, nice frame job there by Barrett, but didn't get the strike. They talk about a lot, too, like when you're hitting, you don't want to make sawdust holding the bat by gripping it too hard.
Yeah.
That can happen on both sides, offense and or defense. So, Harper with his work cut out for him here, trying to keep the runner close. High and tight, evens the count at 2.
Well, and again, no excuses. There are factors, though. It's a colder evening, and again, I know they've gone through this so far this spring. It hasn't been a really good spring at all. sometimes you don't grip that baseball the way you want to as you normally would in a warm weather situation. And I don't know, I haven't seen him pitch enough to know whether he pitches better in warm or cold weather. So, but it does make a difference when it's as cold as it can be.
Oh, 100%, even at the major league level when the temperatures get down. Runner takes off. Decent throw. They got him. Nice throw there by Barrett. Gets the out.
2 outs for the Eagles.
I like the play, though, from a Covenant Christian standpoint. Just keep pushing, put the pressure on, try to get another guy in scoring position because you got the top of the order there. Base it, potentially would score another run.
And make them make a play as a walk for more. You know, you're going to keep pushing that button until they are able to make that play. Now you're going, okay, we've seen he can make a play. Now let's make sure we do it in the right time.
But I still like their aggressiveness because they weren't real aggressive against Guerin, and I think it cost them a couple of times. And I know they had 1 or 2 situations where they got picked off on base as well, but they're a lot more aggressive tonight so far than what we saw a couple of days ago.
Buckley at the plate now. He was hit by a pitch and scored in the top of the first. Harper looks like he's got a pretty decent move over to first.
Yeah, but now you take that extra half step. There you go. Get down to first base.
They're going again. Let's see if he can get 2 in a row. And he does! Nice comeback by Barrett. Throws 2 runners out to finish the inning. Only 1 for Covenant. 4-1. We'll be back.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
Back here at Heritage Christian, and what a final part of the top of the second for catcher Zane Barnett, throwing out 2 base runners for Covenant Christian. We see the second one here. Buckley at the dish. Drilled him at second. Just an absolute seed down there. And now you've got to think, Troy, Covenant's really going to start to think about how much they want to run after those 2 throws in that last inning.
Well, I like the aggressiveness still, but I'll tell you, Barnett didn't have the best pitch to handle that time either. Ball that was out of the strike zone, he was still able to make that throw down to second base, but that's huge for Heritage Christian. They needed that.
And then not only picks up his confidence, that's going to help Harper. That's really going to pick him up as well. So now let's see if they can get the sticks going as Ethan Baker is up at the dish. He swings at the first pitch, strike 1. He was at the plate when the runner was thrown out in the bottom of the first. A little bit low.
Yeah, the advantage for Baker being at the plate, at least he had a chance to see a couple of pitches from the starter Buckley in that last half inning.
Ground ball to Gillespie, up and over to first.
1 up and 1 down brings to the plate.
4-3 on the putout.
Baseman Rayner.
I think you're going to see Covenant go back to what they've been aggressive. I think they're going to continue doing that, knowing that this young man's on the mound. You got a 4-1 lead. The guy isn't going to give up a ton of runs unless you can get him at some point early in the ball games. We saw him against Guerin get stronger as that game went along.
Rayner Kurtz at the plate now, fouls 1 off to the right. 357 on the year for Ribbies. For the young man. Boy, that breaking ball is just, that's filthy.
He had 8 strikeouts in the last 4 innings of that game against Guerin.
And threw it again for the K, and that's 2 up, 2 down.
2 up and 2 down for the Eagles. Coming to the plate, catcher number 14, Zane Barnett.
The big man, Zane Barnett. You see the strikeout on the breaking ball there. Barnett bringing that confidence of 2 runners thrown out to the dish here in the bottom of the second. Curveball couldn't quite get the inside corner. That is ball 1.
We mentioned, when you look at Buckley able to hit around 90 on the fastball, may not be tonight because of the weather and such, but he can still bring it. And then you come back with that breaking pitch, and a lot of times it'll leave your knees buckling trying to figure out what he's going to throw next.
I see what you did there.
You like that? Buckley.
Yeah, you did that on purpose, didn't you?
I did. Yeah. I did. Keith taught me that.
Barnett, ground ball over to Gillespie, up with it to Ware. 4-3 again. And 3 up and 3 down. So we'll head to the third. It is 4-1 Covenant right here on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Back here at Heritage Christian School, it is 4-1. The visiting squad from Covenant Christian, Harper back out for his third inning. Buckley, Replogle, and Nardi coming to the plate for the Warriors. But, Troy, we really talked about this in between innings. You've got to imagine the confidence boost Harper got from Barnett throwing out 2 runners there to end that previous inning he was on the mound. Has really got to give him confidence knowing he can start to make more pitches and not really have to force his pinpoint control, because he knows if a guy gets on, Barnett's got his back now.
Yeah, he does. That's huge, and your teammate will pick you up like that. And those, again, were 2 huge outs for a young guy that had saw his defense behind him struggle a little bit, and we saw a couple of times where Barnett had thrown the ball away, and that cost him a run or 2. So I think it was big for everybody for this Heritage team just to get themselves back, and kind of felt like maybe they were the road team, didn't get off the bus right away, but now they have to feel pretty good going into this third inning.
As Buckley, the opposing pitcher, steps to the plate. He was at the plate when Nolan Moore was thrown out to end the third. A nice breaking ball there by Harper for strike 1.
Yeah, that's the way to do it right there. Get ahead in the count against these Covenant hitters, and that way you can start to work from there. And you fall behind, a lot of times you're at the mercy of the hitter.
Right back. Oh, off the back foot of Harper. Allemeyer throws over to first, and he beats it out. Going to have to check on Harper to make sure he's okay. As that drilled off, it looked like the back of his foot, his heel.
You know, it came when he went through his motion, and his back foot came back down. And unfortunately, that ball just kind of rolled right up the mound and hit him on the back foot, but I think he's going to be okay.
Guess we didn't know Harper was a hockey goalie as well. Tried to get the kick save in there for him.
Well, you never know if you don't make an attempt at it. And I know sometimes it ends up costing a pitcher because you try to make an attempt at it, you get hurt. And that certainly didn't help your cause. You're always caught between a rock and a hard place, whether you go for it or let your defense do it, but instincts just pick up on it.
Replogle at the plate now. He struck out, but on a wild pitch, advanced and got to first. Then there was a bad throw, which allowed Buckley to score.
Well, you may remember, this is where things got a little bit hairy back in that first inning, and you saw that Covenant picked up 3 runs. This would be really huge right here if Harper can get through this middle of the order.
That's a line shot right at Wiggins, and with his arm, he's going to double up Buckley without a bounce. Oh, my goodness. What an absolute laser from center field from Andrew Wiggins. Mercy.
Well, listen, they know the scouting report, and in a ball hit like that, Wiggins, again, with the arm he has, you're not going to take a chance on that guy in center field. That was really not a very good base running attempt there by Buckley. You got to stay where you are, go halfway.
I don't know, maybe if he didn't see the fly of the ball or whatever, but no way you can get that far off the bag with that absolute cannon out there in center field. And that's a huge play for Harper as well. He can settle down and go after Nardi, which now he has an even 1-1 count.
Yeah, you talked about his confidence. You can kind of see now his body language is a little bit different than it was back in that first inning when things weren't going well.
Ball down low. That throw was shoulder high. An absolute just
it looked like
laser from center field. That was you don't even see that at the pro level that often. My goodness. Nardi just fouled on the third base line. Evens the count at 2.
Now, this is a strange game sometimes. You can have a really bad inning and the whole baseball team looks terrible. Then you come back, have a decent second inning, and all of a sudden now things are starting to pick up for Heritage here, and you kind of feel maybe momentum swinging their way a little bit.
And the IU fans watching got to be super excited after seeing that play. Ground ball to Ambrose. 4-3 for the out. 3 up and kind of 3 down. But
3 down for the Warriors.
There you go. So now it's still 4-1. Going to the bottom of the third here on IndianaSRN.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
We encourage you to follow us on Twitter at IndianaSRN. Find upcoming games, video highlights, and much more. Follow us now at IndianaSRN.
8-9-1 coming to the plate for the home-standing Eagles here in the bottom of the third. Still 4-1, Covenant Christian. After the high-scoring first inning, things have kind of settled down here. Harper gets a chance to hit for himself here, Troy, and this is a good chance for him to help himself out.
Chance to go up and hit a little bit here, get yourself on base, and help yourself out as well.
Well, I'm going to be talking about that throw for the next 2 weeks. Bruckley, that's Brock and Buckley together, down low for ball 1. That happens. Hey, at least I haven't switched Covenant and Heritage yet.
That's true. So but you're doing you're doing the thing. Keep the words together.
Yeah, and I just jinxed myself as tough in between hop there for Kimberly, and boy, that's going to be a tough one. But Harper gets on to help himself.
Yeah, that would have taken a great play by the third baseman Kimberly to make that throw to first base. Because again, he got great speed there as well.
Williams.
We'll see what the official scores does. Mr. Darengowski gives him an error on that play. Pickoff gets by, and he may get all the way to third. Will Harper, as Ware gets all the way over there, strong arm to third. But there you go. Now things are cooking for the Eagles.
Well, the good news is they don't care what I have to say. They keep the score themselves. But I know that was a throwing error right there.
Yes, that was.
It'll cost Buckley, and now you got a runner in scoring position. No outs. Great opportunity here for Heritage to get some runs on the board.
And we're back where we were with Covenant in the second inning. The corners are playing in at the grass, but the middle infielders are playing back. What you're looking for here from Ryan Williams is just a ground ball up the middle to get that run home.
Well, and Williams is going to make Buckley throw him a strike before he ends up swinging the bat right here, because now you got Buckley maybe on the ropes a little bit here in the third if you can continue to get some runs here.
And there's a strike, and not only does that help, it flips the order back over to the top.
Yep.
And you get to your big guns again, and this is a chance to get right back in this baseball game. There it is to third. Oh, what I thought Kimberly snagged it, but it got through, and it's a base hit for Ryan Williams with an RBI. It's 4-2 with the top of the order coming up.
Yeah, great job by Williams in the hitting department, able to get it by the third baseman, and you got the run you wanted. You end up getting the runner on in Harper. You got him to second base thanks to the air, and boy, there's nothing better than getting the guy across the plate, and you still have no outs in the top of the order.
And now your big gun comes up. Or guns, if you would. Not a huge lead over there at first for Williams.
Well, here's where you find out about Buckley a little bit. You got a good guy on first base from a stolen base standpoint, probably get a decent lead. You got a great hitter at the plate, so Buckley's going to have to be really careful here both ways.
He does chop foul there. 0-1 for Wiggins.
I think I'd be more worried about Wiggins than it will be the guy at first base, because Wiggins can really hurt you if you're not careful, and you leave one out over the plate, all of a sudden you got a two-run shot right here.
Yeah, you concentrate too much on that runner, next thing you know it's a tie ball game. Rip to second. Play for one and throw over to first, and they got the double play. Oh my goodness. What a turn there on a close play at first.
Double play for the Warriors, 2 outs.
4-6-3.
Shortstop number 8, Tyler Allemeyer.
Let's take a look at it. Gillespie to Replogle to Ware. Boy, you could not have drawn that up any better if you're Brock Buckley.
Well, you know how that started. Gillespie was playing deep on the grass that time. I know it was a bang-bang play at first. If you look at it again, it might have been safe, but if he's not playing deep down at second base, they don't make that play at all.
Oh, no. Well, and with the left-handed hitter, you almost have to play that deep at second base so you keep all your teeth. and that's something, too, that I would love to see at the high school level more is to have umpires on both first and third base. And, man, I'll tell you what, that's a little flare over to third, and it is caught by Kimberly for the third out. We'll hit that coming back here as we head to the top of the fourth. 4-2, Covenant Christian.
4-2.
I'm Keith Myers, Vice President of IndianaSRN. Thanks for joining us. Do you know IndianaSRN broadcasts 350 games a year? All sorts of sports? Yeah, we do. Hard to believe, isn't it? IndianaSRN loves to put student athletes first on our website. If you're a business out there, we probably can help you too. Contact us at coach@indianasrn.org. Grandma from out of state thanks you. Mom and Dad who can't get to the game thanks you as well. In fact, our athletes watch the games over and over again. Our military has enjoyed the games as well. So sit back and enjoy the game. It's IndianaSRN.
We are back for the top of the fourth. It is 4-2. Covenant Christian over Heritage Christian, two fantastic schools. And we referred to this a little bit before break, Troy, I'd love to see there be 3 umpires for high school sports in baseball, especially so you could have an umpire at first and at third, so that umpire doesn't have to be in the middle of the field trying to make those pick-off play throws or throws at third. And you know what? We need more officials in the state of Indiana. If you're interested, go out to the web, go to IHSAA.org, look up Sandra Walter, and call her and tell her you want to be an official.
Well,
I'm plugging all away.
And I appreciate that because I'll tell you what, you're right. There's too many times we just don't have enough officials, and that goes for baseball and softball as well. The only problem you're going to have is that a lot of schools don't have the finances. It's what they call a non-revenue sport. You got to pay even more. That'd be an awful hard thing for a lot of schools to do.
Kimberly grounds it to short. Allmeyer up with it and throws him out at first. 6-3
1 down
on the putout.
Coming
Jackson
to the plate
Ware.
For the Warriors, number 12, the first
You know, how many
baseman,
times have we talked
Jackson
about, in fact,
Ware.
I just saw another report where in one of the states that they had another game that they had to postpone because they didn't have enough officials to go around. So it certainly is a huge, huge problem.
It is, and we've heard a lot about it recently, too, in the state of Indiana. And these kids deserve to play. So if you want to be involved in sports, you're not a teacher, be an umpire. Help these kids out. That's a ground ball. Oh, nice snag by Ambrose and the play at first.
Great play by Will Ambrose at second.
What a play.
Boy, he stayed down on that baseball, too. Wasn't tempted to come up with that glove and read it all the way into his glove. That was a great job.
Let's see the replay here. Coach's kid. As that does take a little bit of a bounce off the mound, but great play by Jack Ambrose. Nolan Jones. He was hit by a pitch and scored the lone run in the second for Covenant.
You were talking about Harper. Look how he's pitching now. He is a different pitcher than he was in the first inning.
Fouled off to the left. 0-2 the count.
You could go first inning and then the first hitter, which was Jones, that he hit by a pitch since then. This has been another right-hander out there just doing his job.
100%. Off-speed pitch to Allmeyer. Up with it. Strong arm over to first for the out. 1-2-3 inning for Harper. We're headed to the bottom of the fourth here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you can be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move?
It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
We are back here at Heritage Christian with Hammer on the playlist here. Some of these younger kids don't know of MC Hammer before.
Oh, my.
Can't touch this. He actually had some good stuff before then. So
you said you might break down a little bit if you...
I'm the old head. I'm an old head here, so I get this stuff, man. This is good stuff.
Wait and make sure we get a video of this if you do.
Kidding me? Run DMC, KRS-One, all they could get after it. All right, so here we go. Dorsch, Fields, and Baker, 3, 4, and 5 for Heritage Christian. See what they can do against Buckley here to
the Warriors lead the Eagles
chip a little bit more into this lead as it's 4-2 in the bottom of the fourth.
Well, again, you don't get much of a break if you're Buckley when you think about Dorsch right here, and we talked about him earlier. This guy can really swing the bat from the left side, so got to be really careful here if you're Buckley.
Ground ball on the first pitch. Gillespie up and to first. Boy, you got to love that. Get one pitch and one out.
No kidding. Great pitch that time, and I know Dorsch wanted to hit that. A lot of guys want to hit that first pitch because they know it's a fastball and they know what to look for, but he kept the ball low in the strike zone, and that's what they talked about Buckley before. Keep things low and get a lot of ground ball outs.
That's a tough pitch to lay out for those lefties because they love that low and inside pitch. They can go down and just, whew. So that first pitch to Fields is a ball. And that is shot back at the plate for foul, 1-1 the count.
You notice Heritage so far, and I know that they're getting another opportunity to get through the order and see this young man again in Buckley. They just haven't hit the ball really, really solid yet, consistently at this point.
2-1 the count as Fields takes that one. Fields grounded out to short in the first.
You know, the bad part about it is if you're Buckley, you never can relax when you talk about this lineup for Heritage, because there's just one after another that can come up and just hurt you really badly.
Oh, that's ripped down the line into right field. That may be two as Moore's over to get it. Oh, there's going to be a play. Oh, cut off and a throw. Perfect. Oh, no. It got by. I thought he snagged it. Into second with the double is Fields on a close play.
Yeah, and Fields, give him credit because he went full steam. Once he turned the bag at first, he was on his way to second base, and unfortunately, the shortstop, Replogle, couldn't pick up the baseball right there at the very end.
Honestly, I'm not sure he should have cut that. It looked like it was a pretty good throw coming in, but Fields now in scoring position with one out, and Baker at the plate. He grounded out to second and to open the second inning for the Eagles. See what he can do here. Lefty against righty. Went to bunt, missed it. Be strike one.
A lot of times when you're not hitting the baseball as well as you'd like to, try to get that guy over, let your next guy take a couple of cuts at it and Kurtz. But I like Baker's bat from the left side. I'd still like to see maybe go ahead and hit right here instead of try to bunt, because he can pull it to the right side, get that runner over nonetheless.
Big gap, but the second baseman shaded way to the first base side of the bag as that pitch is down. Gillespie shaded really towards the line, so there's a big hole right there between him and the second base bag. If you can shoot it through the air, you get a run and a guy on base.
Yeah, so you know right now Covenant's expecting him to pull the baseball right here.
Ball is low.
Of course, that always depends on where the placement is going to be from Buckley. If he throws to the outside, that's going to be an awful hard thing to do for Baker to try to pull it. He'll ground out in a situation like that more often than not.
Oh, yeah, the call of the pitches makes a huge difference there. As boy, he got the outside corner there. And that evens the count.
Boy, and as a hitter now, you really need to protect, knowing that if he goes back there again, you get the same call. It'll be a tough out.
And he got the strikeout.
And that's big for Buckley right there. Huge strikeout.
That's one of the things I loved about a guy like Anthony Rizzo, that even he's in the major leagues, he's made all-star games, he's won a world championship. 2 strikes, he's choking up.
Yeah.
Because he knows he's got to protect, and I'd love to see a lot more of that at all levels, because you need to put the bat on the ball here as Kurtz struck out in the second. Ball a little bit high.
Had that sweeping curveball that time.
They're shouting out to the runner at second that he's clear of. That's what they're saying, is they're letting him know that there's nobody behind him for a pickoff move. He's clear to not have to worry about going back towards the bag. Sounds like the 1 and 2 there on that strike. Sounds like the seagulls from Finding Nemo. Mine.
I was wondering how many people are going to have to tell him he's clear.
That might be the movie we've seen most in my household since my oldest watched it an incredible amount of times every day. It was, And now he's graduating high school. So
that's crazy talk.
I'm going to cry right now. No, I'm not going to, but still. Need a big base hit here to get that run, as it's a ground ball. Replogle, tough play. That's going to be a high throw. It's going to be over Ware at first, and that run's going to score. Coming down in second, they do get him on the play, but the run counts. Fields was able to get home before the third out was made, and that allowed that run to score.
The score is the Covenant Christian Warriors 4.
So we'll take a break and we'll come back for the 5th inning here on IndianaSRN. Back here to Heritage Christian School, we head to the fifth. It's a one-run ball game as Heritage has chipped away. It is now 4-3 after a 3-run first inning from Covenant Christian. Quincy Harper has settled into a groove and has set down the last 8 batters as 8, 9, and 1 set to come to the dish for the Warriors.
Yeah, we mentioned how he's been a different pitcher, and he's keeping now his ball club right in this game. You mentioned he gave up the one hit to Buckley to lead off the third inning, but other than that, he's been really, really very good. Doesn't have to strike out a bunch of people, but he's getting a lot of ground ball outs, especially look, 4 in a row in the last 2 innings.
Yeah, really only 2 hits for Covenant Christian, and I take it back. 9 in a row for Harper because he hit Jones and then has set the next 9 down in order as Gillespie takes ball 1. So he's really composed himself and he's pitching a pretty good ball game here. Got to keep his team in it so they can. Ooh, that was way high.
Well, you notice that both teams are taking full advantage of the other team's mistakes here too. So we're going to make this real simple down the backstretch here in the last 3 innings. Who's going to make the least errors?
Yeah, it all comes down now to who makes the plays, and right now it's 3-0 on Ty Gillespie, hitting 143 on the season.
Well, and that's one thing about right here. Harper knows the guy's hitting 143. You don't want to give this guy a base.
And he does.
Coming to the plate for the Warriors, the left fielder, number 1, Jackson Laughlin.
Well, go back to work if you're Harper. Don't let that bother you. Try to get a ground ball right here, possible double play. Then face the top of the order, hopefully with nobody on base.
And Jamison Laughlin takes it for strike 1. He was one of the 2 runners thrown out in that inning by Barnett, as that one is low for ball 1.
I don't think Gillespie's going anywhere at this stage. I think Harper just work on the number 9 hitter right here.
Way inside. Maybe tried to overthrow it there a little bit. 2-1 the count on Laughlin.
By the way, that walk he gave up was his first walk since back in the 2nd inning.
Yeah. I mean, really, it's amazing how those 2 thrown-out runners really turn the tide for Harper's. That's ripped into left field for a base hit. Going to second is Gillespie, and Laughlin, who came in hitting .071, gets a base knock, and you flip the lineup over to Nolan Moore.
Yeah, drive you nuts. Gillespie, hitter hitting under 200. You have Laughlin well under 200, and you give up the single now to Laughlin with 2 runners on. And I'm pretty sure that if you ask Harper, he'd like to have that pitch back.
I don't see anyone warming up. I don't know if they just sent someone into the bullpen to start warming up or not. We shall see. It looks like somebody is stretching out there.
Well, and that certainly is what you'll see. Catcher goes out, talks to your pitcher, give your bullpen a chance to get at least down there and start to throw if need be. But now you got to really work here. Top of the order, very dangerous. Moore, Buckley, and Replogle all coming up.
Low for ball 1. And I see out there Alex Heiska, number 32, stretching and kind of getting warm as I think that one got a piece of Barnett as the trainers come out.
Yeah, he took one off that pitch in the dirt, and it doesn't matter on a cool evening like it is here tonight. That's going to hurt no matter where it gets you.
Well, you know what they call the catcher's equipment? The tools of ignorance. Yes. And you can get chipped and knocked and hit and all kinds of stuff, but
well, here's one thing I want to make sure that Harper doesn't stand out there too long without throwing. I want to get him back in there and get him going.
Well, you know, while we got a break here real quick, I need your take on the uniforms. Being the uniform guy that I am, we got a couple of old school looks going on here tonight.
Yeah, the Heritage looks a little like the old White Sox when they used to have those uniforms. You know, that and the Astros. You remember the old Astros uniforms where you had the stripes? That's coming back too.
The Tequila Sunrise, yes.
I like both of them. I mean, Covenants is pretty traditional, and
those look they look harken back to the wool uniforms era with the cursive and the tail. Being the uniform guy that I am, I like both these squads. All right, we are back at it with Moore again at the plate. Nubbed off to the right side, evens the count at 1.
Well, this is going to be big right here if you're Harper. Need to get a ground ball here, possibly at least get a force out. Think about that double play once you bring Buckley back to the plate. Buckley, again, very dangerous at number 2 in the lineup. Got to hit his last time up.
You see Barnett making adjustments to his infielders, bringing Fields in at first base as that's low. Back pick. Woo. Almost into right field. That's one thing you don't want.
Well, that's a tough thing for a catcher because you got that first baseman moving toward the bag, and sometimes you end up throwing behind the first baseman instead of where he's going. You threw it where he was.
High for ball 3. 3-1 the count here. What if you're the hitter here and you're Nolan Moore, what are you looking for?
Well, I'm going to look for a fastball because right now Harper doesn't want to lose another one, load the bases up, and he did. So now he's become, again, a different pitcher. He fell down early to Gillespie, ends up giving up the walk. He fell behind to Laughlin, gave up the base hit, and then Moore ends up drawing another walk. So talking about dangerous territory right here, and we'll see if he's going to stay in.
For the Warriors, the pitcher number 23.
Pitching coach out to talk to Harper as there is action down in the bullpen for Heritage, and Buckley can really help himself here. Bases loaded, nobody out in the top of the 5th. This seems like this is a big moment right here, Troy, to see what happens in this baseball game.
Well, it is, and you're going to try to go out, settle Harper down a little bit. You know what? The bottom line is if you can get a ground ball right here, get a force out, whether it be at the plate, whatever the case may be, just try to get that first out and then work from there. But the one thing you don't want to do is make a mistake to Buckley, because then this could really open up the floodgates.
Yeah, I harken back to earlier in the game when Buckley got the ground ball right back to him and got the lead runner, which at that time was to third base. Harper would love that right here, is that's going to be hit foul. It's going, and it's in that deep corner. Harper would love nothing more than a ground ball right back to him.
Well, and Buckley had a pretty good look. He was looking fastball right out of the chute, which we have seen several hitters do for Covenant here tonight. They like that first pitch to see if he'll come back with another fastball.
Ball gets away, and all the runners are going to try and advance. There's going to be a play here at the plate. It short hops Harper, and all the runners advance.
Warriors score.
Well, that takes the pressure off Buckley now. He's got now 2 runners to deal with right here, but boy, wild pitch. And you got to be really careful here. We mentioned Harper. He was so good through the third, fourth, actually the second, third, and fourth innings, but now he's kind of lost his confidence here in the 5th.
Fouled off to the right side again. Coming into tonight, Harper had 8.2 innings pitched and 4 wild pitches, and he's added to that total tonight.
Yeah, he's had a couple of them, and of course it cost him a run here, cost him a run earlier in the ball game.
Nice breaking ball there, but Buckley fought it off.
Yeah, Buckley able to stay back on it, anticipated a breaking pitch. Would imagine again right here, if you're Harper, you've got to have something right around the plate, and Buckley knows that, and unfortunately couldn't get it across.
3-2 now the count. Buckley originally committed to Xavier to play baseball, but then decided he wanted to play football too, and is now set to head to Indiana Wesleyan to play both sports next year. A little nubber See if they can they do get the out at first. And a run does score. They throw back to third, nothing doing. But Buckley does get an RBI on that ground out.
Yeah, bottom line is put the ball in play, make the defense work right there. You get a run on contact and a much-needed run. And anything you can add to this for Buckley, as we talked about his last outing, he just gets stronger as the game goes along.
Replogle is up. He reached on an error after a strikeout in the first and flew out to center in the third, from which we saw the absolute cannon from Andrew Wiggins to double up Brock Buckley at first. And now the entire infield playing in with one out to try and keep this run from scoring. And that's a rocket into the gap into left center field. That's going to easily get the run home. Repogle's going to try for second, and he may be a sitting duck, but luckily the throw short hops Ambrose, and double for Replogle gets another run for Covenant.
Well, Replogle, we talked about him earlier. If he can extend his arms, I think Wiggins got a little bit of a late start on that. I'm not sure he saw that come off the bat right away, because he's got enough speed out there to run down that baseball. But again, Replogle, once he gets his arms extended, he's a very, very dangerous hitter at number 3.
Almost, threw Replogle out at second. Nardi gets it up to the right side. Is he going to be out of play? Does Fields have a play? He does, as he catches it and then hits the fence for the out. Great play, huge play there for Tyler Fields and the Eagles.
Yeah, it's a great concentration down the line. Did a nice job just staying with it. Certainly helps when you know you're playing at home. You've been through many of those pop-ups down the line, so good job by the first baseman that time, Field.
Kimmerly up. He's 1 for 2 with the run scored. And
that for the Warriors for 24, Ethan Kimmerly.
Well, the 3 runs matched what you did in the first. You still one out there. You'd love to get one more right here.
Fouled straight back. Man, even the people and everybody in the press box, nobody flinched. I don't know what it is about Keith and him doing the flinching thing.
I don't know. Some guys just they don't have it.
I guess when you used to flower picking out in right field, like when he played in Little League, I guess that does affect you a little bit. But be safe coming home from Michigan, Keith and Debbie. It's going to go out of play to the right-hand side.
I like Kimmerly, and we talked a little bit about Nardi, though he fouled out. They're still coming up, speaking of Covenant, coming up swinging the bat. They know that Harper's struggling, and that when he misses badly, so he's got to take something off of it a little bit to get back around the plate. So they know they might get a really good look here eventually by Harper. Yep.
Oh, and just a little bit wide into center field. And, he fell down. Did Replogle.
Oh.
And with that arm in center field, you are not going to try it. They had a pickoff play on, but at the same time, the runner was heading out. And the throw just got by Allmeyer, but heads up play by Wiggins. And with that cannon, it only keeps them one base. That could be a huge run.
Could be a huge run. We'll put a little asterisk next to that because you're right. It could be the difference in the end, but boy, another mistake there by Heritage and nearly cost him another run.
2-2 the count on Kimmerly.
I don't think it was a bad play. I'm not sure Allmeyer was certainly on his horse over to second base by the time the throw was made.
Oh, and that one gets back. It's a wild pitch, and not even covering is Harper.
You can take that asterisk off, by the way.
Warriors score another, take the lead to 8.
Yeah, he's just right now, Harper is – I know they want to eventually go to their bullpen. I know they play again tomorrow. You don't want to have to use your bullpen if you don't have to, but right now Harper has just kind of gone back to where he was a little bit back in the first inning.
I think they don't play again until Thursday.
Is it Thursday?
I think it is. But that's that's one of those ones where when Harper comes in, you're going to say, listen, I know you're frustrated. You wanted to do better now. You still got and he strikes him out. You still got to cover the plate, young man.
Yeah.
As much frustrated as you are.
The Warriors 8, the Eagles 3.
So that's the third out of the inning, but 4 runs for Covenant, and it's 8-3 heading to the bottom of the 5th.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Bottom of the 5th here at Heritage Christian, 7-8-9 coming up for the Eagles, and they have some work to do, as you can see, off to the left side. Pitching coach talking with Harper just about everything that happens. And it's tough, Troy, because baseball can be such a cruel sport. Just when you think things are starting to look good, the baseball gods look down on you and go, it's not that easy, fellas, and things like that happen. It's all how you bounce back, as that's ball 1.
Well, and it can happen quickly. We just saw that again in the 5th inning. It 1 walk, and the next thing you know, there's 4 runs across the board, and that leadoff walk kind of got things started.
Ground ball 2 short. Replogle up with it over to first for the out, 6-3.
1 up and 1 down for the Eagles coming to the plate. The pitcher.
Well, I know Heritage they got a lot of outs still to play. I know it's getting crunch time here pretty soon, and you got the bottom of the order still, and then you got that lethal weapon at the top when you talk about Wiggins, Allmeyer, and Dorsch all coming up. But as we talked about earlier, Buckley seems to get stronger and stronger as the game goes along, and he's kind of sailing right now here in the 5th.
Harper can help himself by getting on base here and helping turn the lineup over as he swings and misses at that first pitch for strike 1. Swing and miss at a curveball on the outside for strike 2. And this young man, a sophomore, is going to be a big learning experience for him. He can carry on into his next couple of years and really become a much better player for Coach Ambrose and the Eagles.
Well, you're hoping this year, too. Sometimes you kind of throw this game out there and you say, all right, what did you learn? And then you think, what can I do the next time out? So he's going to get many more innings this year, so it's going to help him one way or another this year alone.
Yes, it will, as he gets the strikeout.
Well, the one thing you can never do really is body language, I think, is a big thing. And sometimes on the mound, if things aren't going well, you kind of get frustrated. But you don't want the other team to know that either. You go back out there and pitch with confidence no matter what happens, because other teams are watching you as well, and they can kind of tell what you can do or can't do if things aren't going well.
That is true in this day and age where games like this are televised all the time. You can scout your opponent pretty easily. And speaking of, if you'd like to get your student athletes on television like we have, coach at IndianaSRN.org will talk to you on how you can join the family of networks and put these outstanding young men and women on TV so everybody can see them. All the family, whether they're in-state, out-of-state, grandparents. It's good stuff. That's ripped. Oh, but right at Gillespie. Line out for the out. 3 up, 3 down, and we'll head to the top of the 6th. 8-3, Covenant Christian.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Can't make it to the game? We've got your back. Just go to www.IndianaSRN.org and tune in to all of the live action, or go to our on-demand service and relive your favorite moments.
We are back, and there's a new pitcher on the mound for Heritage Christian. His name is Alex Hiska, number 32. His stats in the season: no wins, no losses, 4 appearances, 1 save, 1.24 ERA, 5 2/3 innings pitched, only 1 earned run given up, 7 strikeouts, is a 150 opponent's batting average, and 2 hit by pitches. Thoughts, Troy, on the outing for Quincy Harper?
Well, we saw kind of a roller coaster where things didn't go very well in that first inning, and then he settled down after they ended up, got some good defensive plays. His catcher threw out a couple of runners, and then just things didn't work out for him in the fifth, and he ended up walking 2, gave up a couple of base hits, but the walks hurt him there. And again, he'll learn from it. He'll come back a better pitcher next time, and once he goes back into it again, he'll know what not to do the next time. But again, early in the ball game, the guys behind him made a couple of errors, and that hurt him early.
Outside for ball 1 to Jackson Ware. He is 0 for 2, grounded out to short and to second.
Now, if you're Covenant Christian, you have to adjust a little bit. You had a right-hander through 5. Now you got a left-hander here in the later stages of the game.
So that one's fouled out to the right side of play. One positive for Heritage is you got the top of the order coming up in the 6th. You basically have, at the least, one last shot with your big guns against Buckley. You want to get a 1-2-3 inning here and get back in the dugout.
Yeah, and you got to be patient, too, because, again, that old adage, you're not going to get them all back at one time unless you can just have a gigantic inning. But so far they haven't been able to do that against Buckley.
Yeah, you can't hit a 5-run home run.
That's right. So you got to be patient at the plate, make him throw a lot of pitches late in the ball game.
That's ripped out into center field. Wiggins back and gets it just shy of the track. Good charge put into that one, but
one down.
First out of the inning, that'll bring up Nolan Jones.
Yeah, and I think it's big again for Heritage right here. Get out of this inning, no more damage done. Think about what your strategy is going to be there in the bottom of the 6th inning, because the last thing you want to do is go into the 7th with Buckley on the mound, possibly a chance to get a complete game victory. Try to do some more damage in the 6th.
That's a line drive into right field, falls in front of Dorsch for a single for Jones. He's now 1 for 2 with the run scored. And Ty Gillespie coming to the dish.
You know what's been kind of impressive a little bit about Covenant at the bottom of their order is really doing a nice job getting on base.
Yeah, we talked about that in the pregame. You know, their statistics, hitting statistics, the bottom of the orders, their averages weren't, very strong, as Gavin Tyndall, the courtesy runner again for Jones, with Gillespie at the plate. But yeah, they've come through quite a bit today, Troy, as you said.
Well, that's big. You had Jones, as you said, you were talking about him earlier. He's scored a run. He's been on base twice. Gillespie's been on base, and he scored a run. And then Laughlin's been on base twice, and he scored a run. So I would say, 7, 8, 9, I'd take that every ball game.
Yeah, Chris Stevenson's loving that. As he called time?
Well, he did. I didn't see the umpire giving time right there. But apparently he must have.
Yeah, I thought I heard him say it, but we'll see what count he puts up. This time. 1-0 is still the count. Oh, had him leaning. That's a good pickoff throw.
I'm Covenant. If I'm Covenant, too, I don't want to get too greedy right here either. I mean, I still have an opportunity to score a run or two. Get yourself a couple more insurance runs. I'm going to take it, so be really careful over at first base against a left-handed pitcher.
Insurance runs brought to you by, I listen to the Cubs and,
they sell everything, don't they?
No, I'm telling you what, man. In any major league stadium, if there's a blank piece of property, they're going to put an ad on it. That's for sure.
Well, they need that to buy that soccer. Oh, I guess he decided not to buy the soccer team, huh?
Well, it just came out too. There's going to be ads on uniforms next year.
Oh,
Major
surprise,
League Baseball.
surprise!
Yeah. Huh? Back pick, not there, as that's low.
the NBA does. The NFL did they do that yet? No, they haven't done it yet. They do on the practice jerseys, but they don't on the game jerseys.
Nice pitch to get the strikeout there on Gillespie.
Swinging K.
Yeah, that was a great pitch.
Left fielder number 1.
That's one of those that kind of sails in there, and it's so high you just can't lay off of it because it looks like a beach ball at some point, but then you probably shouldn't have swung at that one.
Yeah. Deceptive motion by IHSAA. Outside for ball 1.
He doesn't seem to be a real overpowering guy from the left side. A lot of guys aren't from the left side. They're more finesse guys, and it looks like he's got a pretty good breaking pitch. And
as the runner takes off, and that's popped up into right. Dorsch is there for the out, and that'll end it in the 6th.
No runs across for the Warriors at the
for Covenant, and a 5.5. It's still 8-3. Come back on IndianaSRN.
You want a career that will transform your life while you change the lives of others by helping them live well. With a health or exercise sciences degree from IUPUI School of Health and Human Sciences, you will gain an in-depth understanding of the healthcare industry while preparing you for a variety of graduate and professional programs in health. And with Indy as your classroom, you will have clinical options within leading hospitals right in our backyard, as well as a degree from Indiana University, reputable leaders in the healthcare industry. It all starts here.
Can't get to a computer? Then we've got you covered. Just go to the IndianaSRN app and stay up to date with all of your favorite teams. You can watch live coverage or relive the experience with our on-demand service.
Played for the Eagles, the center fielder, number 22.
Back here
Andrew
at Heritage Christian, where music history lessons going on for our producer.
I notice you quiz him quite a bit during the breaks,
don't
you?
Yeah, it's it's fun.
It does.
Top of the order for Heritage: Wiggins, Allemeyer, and Dorsch. Wiggins 1 for 2, and they're playing him to pull. As you see again, Gillespie is very deep in the grass at second base.
Well, here's where it starts on both sides. First off, Wiggins, we know what he's able to do at the top of the order. Want to get things done, get him on base, let him go to work. I know you're going to be down here by 5 runs, but still you can make a huge difference at first base and what Buckley might be able to throw. And then on Buckley's side, don't make any mistakes here in the 6th inning.
2-0 for Wiggins.
He's gotten ahead of him in the count each time he has been able to pitch to Wiggins.
From the heels there, 2-1 the count. He was looking to shave a run off that lead with one swing.
Well, as you mentioned earlier, it's only 300 down the right field line, so if you can pull one and get a little stretch of the arms on it, you can certainly get that out of this ballpark.
Down low, 3-1 the count. We look out and see the flag in center field, and it's barely moving now. So, put a charge into one anywhere, it's going to go pretty well. That low and inside pitch again, couldn't catch up to it. Count now full. It's a big at-bat right here for Wiggins.
And here's a guessing game. Who's going to win this one? What do you want to come with right here?
And he got him with the off-speed pitch.
1 up, 1 down for the Eagles brings number 8, the shortstop, Tyler Allemeyer, to the plate.
You look through the first 3 innings, if I'm not mistaken, only 1 strikeout for Buckley. Then you go in the 4th, he had a strikeout in the 5th, and had a strikeout in the 6th. That's almost mirroring what he did against Guerin.
Allemeyer swings and misses for strike 1.
He's just smart enough, and again, the experience he has had as a pitcher, he knows, bottom line is don't give him anything to hit, make him fish for everything, and that's what he's doing here now late in the ball game.
Oh, got the outside corner there.
And then you get a call like that once in a while.
I mean, this is something a lot of people understand that, as that ball's down low, people look at, well, these are two Class 2A schools, and you're talking about how good Wiggins and how good Buckley are. Folks, these kids can play ball. I don't care what class they're in. Buckley is an outstanding pitcher. Wiggins is an outstanding pitcher and center fielder. Dorsch is a great hitter. He would not be playing at the next level if he wasn't.
Yeah,
these guys can play.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And in fact, we know that Heritage got some votes again this week in the 2A poll, and we've already seen what Buckley can do as a pitcher and a hitter earlier this year. So there's no doubt about it. They got some pieces that, if they can stay injury-free and put some things together, they'll both be interesting teams to watch when that sectional rolls around.
Well, even before that, the city tournament that's up in the air, out into left center. Under it is Nardi for the out. Both these teams can do damage in the city tournament because, if I'm not mistaken, Cathedral is ranked in 4A. They are currently ranked 9th at 6-2, but they're not invincible as they used to be. And so I think either one of these teams can give them, especially if you're going to throw either Buckley or Wiggins, they have every chance to take them down.
Yeah, when you generally have one or two guys that can really throw, as you see a strike there, they're going to keep you in ball games, they're going to win a lot of ball games. I know that they can only pitch so many innings per week, but the innings they pitch are really, really key, and we've seen that again today.
Swinging strike for strike two. And, hey, by the way, City Championship you can watch right here on IndianaSRN live from Victory Field. We will have that broadcast with you, always one of the favorites on the schedule of the season. Hope to see one or both these teams there. That is fouled off behind the plate.
It's Buckley right now not throwing really hard. Everything he's throwing is just kind of generally getting it around the plate, really not overpowering at this stage, and he's got these hitters off balance a little bit here late in the ball game.
And then he hits Jonathan Dorsch.
Yeah.
He's coming up with one on and one out. The first baseman, number 24, Tyler.
But you know
Fields.
what? We've seen him do that before where he's maybe made a little bit of a mistake, been able to come back, though. And I know Field got him for a double back in the fourth inning, but he'll be a little more careful this time.
Yeah, Fields poked that into right field, got the double. 1 for 2 with a run scored is Tyler Fields, as he gets called strike one.
Well, the other thing about Buckley, too, is he knows well enough, just let your defense work behind you. They've been playing very, very well overall, and they'll make plays behind you. Just put it in play if you have to.
Inside for ball one. Ethan Baker on deck. But they need a big at bat here from Tyler Fields. Ground ball too short. Replogle up and over to first for the out. 6-3 on the putout. That will end the inning. We will head to the top of the seventh. It's the last inning coming up with Covenant leading 8-4 here on IndianaSRN.
They say nice guys don't finish first. So maybe it's time to reconsider what it means to be first.
It's about being your best, but knowing you could be even better.
It's being present, but respectful of history.
You sure you want to make that move? It's donating something more valuable than money.
It's believing in yourself and something bigger.
It's coming from different families, but treating each other like brothers.
It's not just being a man, it's being a Mason.
We encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel, IndianaSRN. Hit the bell to get notifications for upcoming games and more. Watch as many games as you want, as many times as you want.
Final inning set here at Heritage Christian with the homestanding Eagles. Needing get some work done as Covenant Christian leads 8-3. Apparently, I cannot count my dark squares on my scorebook, as it is 8-3. Hiska still on the mound for Heritage Christian, and it is
the Warriors leading 8-3.
Top of the order for Covenant, Moore, Buckley, and Replogle.
Well, the job now is just make sure you give up nothing else, because you want to give your ball club, speaking of Heritage, at least somewhat of an opportunity there in the bottom of the 7th. So it's still vital right here that you keep Covenant scoreless in this inning.
And it is the top of the order, ball 1 to Moore. He has been on base a couple of times, but 1 for 3 with a run scored. Hiska out of play, evens the count at 1. Nolan Moore, he is a sophomore. So you like having a guy at the top of the order. He's got a couple of years left if you're Chris Stevenson. You got the strike there. Nice pitch by Hiska.
Well, not only do you like him at the top of the order, last game we had, he was on base twice. He's been on base twice here today, so he gets on base and able to get your offense rolling.
Almost, he hit it foul. If he hadn't hit it foul, it might have hit him. One of the things about this Covenant Christian team, only 3 seniors, Replogle, Ware, and Buckley. So they got a lot of guys coming back. As I do not have, well, I do have it here. I can look it up here in a second. As that's ripped to third for a base knock for Moore.
So again, Moore on base 3 times tonight. Well, you're losing only 3 seniors, but you're losing 3 pretty good ones, and one of them's right here.
Dorsch, Barnett, Fields are seniors for Heritage Christian. I mean, shoot, just the fact that you get Wiggins back for 1 more year's got to be wonderful if you're Dan Ambrose. But both these programs are just run so well. Both schools, great schools. High for a ball. And we've done many a broadcasts from both these campuses, and just, have yet to meet a person that's just not outstanding from both places. Swing and strike. Good pitch by Hiska there.
And Buckley was, I think, thinking home run. And a heck of a cut there.
You got that tall fence out in left field.
Yeah, that'd take quite a shot to get that thing out.
Yeah, 315 down the line. It looks to be about 20 feet high, if not more. Throw over to first. Just past Jackie Robinson Day. 75 years. Oh, incredible. Big day. I did hear an interview with Mookie Betts, and I thought he made a great point. He said, we celebrate Jackie by wearing his number. He goes, kind of think he's so revered that nobody should wear his number on Jackie Robinson Day. Gotta say, I kind of agree with him there. And you're not going to get a better ambassador for baseball than Mookie Betts either, even though he plays for the Dodgers. And a walk will put runners at first and second with nobody out.
Coming to the plate with runners at first and second, nobody out. The shortstop number 2, Trey.
I think I know more players that play for other teams that used to be Cub players than I do any current Cubs.
Thanks.
I'm sorry.
Appreciate that.
I remember that day we were doing our sports show, and we ended up trading. Who was that? What's that guy's name again? They traded that. Oh, Bryant. Yeah,
Thanks.
Chris Bryant.
Thanks. Yeah. Hey, I've attended a World Series parade, championship parade. So, me and 5.5 million of my closest friends.
That's right.
Almost got him. Nice block by Barnett there. Sun shining bright now. Current temperature, we don't have our weatherman here, Keith Myers, 48 degrees currently. As it looks like it might be a long ride home for me hearing those sirens and fire trucks.
No kidding.
Outside part of the plate. Love hearing that mitt pop. I just do.
I'm sure that Heritage would too, though. They'd like that thing maybe a little more closer to the strike zone because you're still looking at no outs here in the 7th inning.
Yeah, that's what the bat Replogle has. You don't want to get too crazy, so maybe nibble a little bit, see if the fish are biting.
Yeah.
But Repogle's got a good eye. He did offer at that one, however. Those wonderful baseball terms. We, Keith always, the one I always use that's Keith's favorite is duck snort. He thinks that's the best one.
Really?
Yeah. 100%. Some people like to call it a Texas Leaguer or bloop. No. Nice breaking ball there by IHSAA for a strike. We've used a couple today. Laser for a strong throw, hose for a great arm. Dish. That's always a good one, too.
Yeah.
Caught him in on the fist. Is there going to be a play made? It is by Baker. Runners can't advance. Big out there for IHSAA getting Replogle for the first. That'll bring up Nardi.
1 out.
Yeah, you're talking about, again, a big out. You don't want anything else to happen in this 7th inning.
Number 11,
You're looking at toward the bottom of the order coming up here for Heritage, so they've got some work to do. They only need more added to the board.
Nice job by IHSAA busting him in, getting it off his fist in this cold weather. I bet that felt lovely, but he's got some bee stinging going on.
Yeah, this is big for IHSAA as well. If you want a left-hander you need in a ball game that you can count on, perhaps sometime if it's close, late. But the one thing about it, you mentioned earlier, that Covenant just doesn't have any left-handed hitters, so you're facing a whole right-handed lineup, which makes it even tougher.
Nardi is 0 for 3, and way out in front of that one. Evens the count at 1. Kurt's kind of guarding the line over there, trying to prevent, as that's going into left center field. Oh, just over the head of Ambrose, but it's not going to be long enough to score a run. Runners had to hold to see if Ambrose had a shot at it, but the bases are now loaded.
I'm not sure if Ambrose even got a good look at that at all. It kind of got turned around, and by the time he was attempting to locate the baseball, it had already gotten by him.
See, just kind of off the end of the bat there. And Ambrose did kind of get turned around, but now we've got bases loaded, 1 out. Kimberly's up 1 for 3 with a run scored on the night.
1 out.
Fielders in at the corner, first and third baseman on the grass. And now the whole infield coming in.
Now the infield in simply because they know they can't give up any more runs in this one, being down by 5.
Normally the middle infield will play back for double play to get out of the inning, but you just got to make sure with, knowing we've talked about it, a little bit of a high grass, slow infield. You got to cut that runner down at home, as that count is 1-0.
Yeah, you'd have to have not a perfect situation, but you'd have to have a really good situation to do that here at this stage, especially when your pitcher's kind of struggling a little bit finding the strike zone.
2-0 to count on Kimmerly.
Your percentage is already going up right here for Kimmerly with the infield in the way it is.
And it's now 3-0. Ware is on deck. He is 0 for 3 on the evening. Nice move by Fields, yeah.
See Field, hey, just throw it right down there, see? See him point toward the plate? Throw it across there.
Trying to be encouraging.
Well, and sometimes you can be too fine, too. You
Yes.
just got to throw the baseball.
There it is. Yeah, if you try and nibble too much, you try and if you're trying to direct it more than throw it, that can cause issues. Fouled off to the right, and now he works the count full, does Hiska.
Yeah, I've worked with college coaches in the past who want your pitchers to attack and attack and attack and not try to do that nibbling too much, because it generally will get you into some troubles. Go out there and be aggressive.
Big pitch here, and he loses him. Walks him. Another run comes home for Covenant.
For the Warriors. They're up 9-3.
Line moves one base, and Jackson Ware is up.
You know, Covenant coming in, you mentioned that they haven't been a strong hitting team this season overall. But boy, 9 runs put on the board here today. That's very, very good for them. They just came off a game in which they only scored 1. A nice way to come back here offensively.
Not a ton of hits, but taking advantage of the opportunities they've gotten, as it looks like there's going to be a pitching change.
Coming in to pitch for the Eagles, number 2.
David Reed coming in to pitch. We'll take a break during his warm-up and be back on IndianaSRN. David Reed warming up here for Heritage Christian in the top of the 7th. It is 9-3 Warriors as they look to move their conference record to 500 at 2-2. And Heritage Christian trying to hold them off and stage a late rally to stay above 500 in conference. However, 7-2 on the season. They took a spring break trip to Tennessee. Which
played well there, too.
They played very well there. I bet they had a lot of good food as well.
They probably had a little warmer weather.
Probably just a touch. Yeah, my wife got to go for Florida for spring break, and oh no, her flight got canceled. Stuck there 3 more days.
Oh,
yeah, to visit her dad. Well, I had the boys and the dogs, and
how convenient that was.
Nice, relaxing spring break for me.
Coming to the plate for the Warriors.
Funny how that always happens in the warm places, too.
I'm telling you.
Where?
Was that song Memphis Groove? Oh, man,
you're really kind of stumbling here late, aren't you?
Whoa. That's kind of my first stumble. Sheesh.
I know, when he needs you the most,
I know. I wilt in the late innings.
Oh,
it's the way it is. Don't give me any free throws at the end of the game.
That's right.
Jackson Ware at the plate. Infield's playing again for Reed. Another lefty for Coach Ambrose. That's ripped. Oh, it's going to get over the head. They were playing in. Baker over his head. That's going to score 2 easy on a double by Ware. And 2 more runs come home on Ware's first hit of the game.
Well, how many times have we talked about a player at the plate looking for that first pitch fastball, and he got exactly that, hung it out over the plate, and got a solid
Warriors
base hit.
Over the Eagles.
Looks like we might
1 out,
get
2 on.
We're going to get a pinch hitter here. Austin Brown, number 6, coming to the dish for Nolan Jones.
Coming to the plate for the Warriors, number 6, Austin Brown.
He's a junior first baseman / outfielder. He comes up with guys at second and third inning fielders still playing in.
And, again, still no outs. Is there 1 out? I'm sorry.
There's 1. Ground ball to second, but they're going to hold the runner on the ground out to second.
Eagles get the out. 2 outs in the inning. Coming to the plate, number 35, second baseman Ty Gillespie.
Runners do not advance, and we're going to get another pinch hitter for Gillespie here. We'll see who it is. It looks like it's going to be 25, Gavin Tyndall. He is a junior outfielder.
Number 25, Gavin Tyndall.
Infield playing back, especially in the middle, with 2 outs now, runners at second and third. And he gets, does he get hit or did he get over it? No, he got hit. Pinch hit appearance, gets hit in his first pitch he sees. Looks like we're going to get another pinch hitter here for Laughlin. It's going to be number 22, Landon Ross, sophomore outfielder. He's got a nice
to play for the Warriors. Number 22, Landon.
Nice
Ross.
flow there under the helmet. Looking pretty sharp there.
He does.
Remember the days when
we used to have the flow?
We used to be able to grow hair out like that, yeah. The days of the mullet. I miss
They're
them.
coming back, by the way.
If I could only grow one again. Low for ball 1.
Bases loaded, 2 outs for the Warriors.
Yeah, my parents wouldn't let me grow my hair long as a kid.
They wouldn't?
No, I get to a certain length in the front, like, okay, get a cut. But both my sons have shoulder-length hair now. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Does that make me a good parent? I don't know. And by the way, both of them thoroughly dislike sports.
I
know,
figured
yeah.
that out.
How about that? Yeah. Fouled straight back.
I have met them, yes.
Yes, but you know what? Artistic talent out the wazoo. They are just incredibly talented artistically. So
good.
Hey, they are going to be who they are, and I love them for it. Got him swinging on the K, and that'll be the third out of the inning. So last shot for Heritage. They've got
at the end of 6.5.
5, 6, 7 coming up after this.
11-3, the Warriors on the Eagles.
Needing to hire someone to take care of your loved one when you're away? Maybe your family member just needs someone to talk to when you're not around. Why not contact Indiana licensed Serenity Care Services? Call Angela, owner of Serenity Care Services, at 317-900-6202. Our team of trained and experienced personal care providers are licensed to serve seniors requiring companion care and light housekeeping services in Indianapolis and its 5 surrounding counties. Call us today at 317-900-6202. Now hiring qualified applicants.
Good numbers, especially the one walk.
Yes, you got to love that.
I love that.
When you're coming out from the bullpen, do not walk people.
Yes. Whatever you do, don't put people on base.
Ethan Baker to lead off the top of the 7th. For those of you
Warriors on top of the Eagles, 11-3.
Do not quite remember, only 7 innings in high school baseball, so this is the last chance for Heritage here, as that's a little bit high for ball one to Baker. He is 0 for 2 on the evening. A little bit low from Ware. 2-0 the count. Saw one he liked, couldn't quite connect to it. Do you know off the top of your head when our next broadcast is? I believe it is
It's Monday.
It is
I think
Monday.
we're back here Monday.
We will be back here for another Circle City Conference game where Guerin takes on Heritage Christian.
You trying to combine words again? Is that
You know, I do that.
The economy of words?
You know, trying to save bullets in terms of pitches, I try and save words.
There you go.
That's base knock there.
Base hit for Baker brings to the plate.
So Kurtz comes up now. He is 0 for 2 as well. And
pinch hitter for the
take
Eagles,
that back.
number 18, Zach Michael.
Zach Michael will pinch hit for Kurtz. Michael, a right-handed hitter against Ware. They had it shifted a little bit there for Baker, and Gillespie was a little bit too far to the first base line there, and Baker shot it through that hole. Let's see what Michael can do here. Low and outside for ball one.
Well, still, if you're Covenant, you just throw strikes. Let your defense again play behind you.
Runner goes, fouled off down third base line. Nice play by the coach. He could pick it down there. Would have liked to have seen how good his arm is.
You want the complete package.
I do. I mean, show me what you got.
Yeah.
2 strikes now.
Maybe if it's warmer, you'll
There
see his
you-
arm.
That's
Yeah.
what it is. See some Sean Dunston heat over to first base. Pick off the first. For those of you that can't tell, yes, I'm a Cubs fan. That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's
That's
the
okay.
only thing Debbie Myers doesn't like about me. Is I'm
The
a
only
Cubs
thing?
fan.
She-
Hey,
you
that's
sure?
it. That's the only
Okay,
thing.
that's good.
That she lets me know of. Stolen base for Baker. You know, when you're quite possibly the nicest person in the world, you really don't say anything outside of the fact because she's a Cardinals fan. But I still
makes
love her anyway.
Yeah, well, that makes her a special person.
It does.
That's
Very
like being
special.
a Michigan fan. Those are special people.
Well, different kind of special. Unless you have, unless you have a kid playing at Michigan, that's different than just being a bandwagon Michigan fan. I want to make sure you know the difference.
I do now.
Okay, good.
I finally have. I finally know that at least there's one other.
Illini fans, but that's okay. We are really special and patient.
Yes, you are. No,
Is that
you would
gonna stay in play. No,
you would think I would be born in Illinois the way I was. That I'd like
You
Illinois. Yes.
Where?
In Woodstock.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know. It's
But I've never liked anything about.
How long did you live in Illinois?
Not long, like 2 years.
Oh, well, see, there you go. Born and raised. I finally became a Chicago Bulls fan this year because they drafted my guy, Ayo Dosunmu. So, yeah, I finally had to pull the trigger there. Ooh, good breaking ball there.
You know, the good news is I've never disliked the Cubs or any of those teams. I just never really, because we used to watch them when I was kids, because you could see WGN when I was a kid. So.
See, that's the thing. That's why I love the song that they played during warm-ups, is that pitch is up and in for a ball. Because cable TV came out when I was in junior high, but we lived way out in the sticks, like in the cornfield, so fouled straight back. So we didn't get cable TV. We had to listen to the radio.
Yeah.
So, people are like, Harry Carey here. I'm like, no way. Jack Brickhouse was the man.
Yeah.
That's my guy, because I had to live with the radio broadcast. Ripped into the right center field gap. Is that going to get a run home? Throw is coming to the plate. It is up the first base side and by Nolan Jones. So base knock and an RBI for Barnett. Drives in a run.
Drives in a run and brings to the plate number 21, Trip Vaughn.
We have another pinch hitter, Trip Vaughn. A righty. Nice piece of hitting there by Barnett.
Yeah, went with the pitch.
The Warriors.
Great job driving that one. Might be they've hit a couple here tonight, but that might be one of the harder hit balls they've had.
Yeah. Again, you got, one more guy, then you can flip the lineup over. Looks like we got another pinch hitter on deck. As that's ripped into left field, first pitch swinging. They're going to hold the runner. But Vaughn gets a base knock. And that looks like it's going to bring up.
Coming to the plate, number 20, Will Ambrose.
Will Ambrose is going to hit. He's been out at second base all night, but he gets a chance to take a swing at it.
Well, the nice thing about this, you get an opportunity to let these guys swing the bat. Guys that mentioned, Michael Vaughn coming off the bench as well, getting that base hit, and Ambrose getting a chance to hit as well.
Takes strike one. But somehow, growing up in Central Illinois, my brother became a Rams fan.
Really?
Yeah. So that wasn't very fun this last year, swinging for strike two. Because, once they won the Super Bowl, I had to congratulate him.
Yeah.
Like he played on the team.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Very offended.
Are you talking about Los Angeles, St. Louis, and back to Los Angeles? Or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the whole spiel. But, the rest of us, growing up watching Walter Payton, that was an easy choice for me. Strike three, backwards K. That's 2 outs now.
Coming to the plate for the Eagles.
Just had a conversation with somebody about Walter Payton a couple of days ago.
That's my hero.
Great running back.
Was my hero.
Well, really, I loved him and also like Barry Sanders.
He and my dad were my heroes growing up. Yeah, Barry was great too. I love Barry Sanders except when he played the Bears. Outside for ball one. Wiggins looking for a knock here. Get it, Ribby. Head down. Strike. Sorry, I was listening to Dad there. Strike one evens the count at one. Low for ball two. Nice block there by Jones. Sun really made a nice appearance today.
It did.
Nothing better.
I'm hoping more tomorrow.
Yes.
I think we've had enough of cold weather and rain and snow.
We need some baseball weather. Ripped past the first baseman, up over Gillespie's going to get a run home on the base knock by Wiggins. Well, that
Eagles
was
played another run there.
Quite the
5.
And a couple of interesting hops there.
Well, that's tough on that side, too, because your first baseman is looking into the sun.
Yeah.
8, Tyler
anything that you have hit to that side, you really have to concentrate extremely well.
We got a pinch runner here at second base. Looks like it's Carson Wilhite. And Alomar comes to the plate.
9, Carson Wilhite.
He is 0 for 2, got hit by a pitch and a run scored.
Well, the good news here for your Heritage Christian is you're thinking more about now Thursday, and if you get a chance to see this guy again, you get an opportunity to see what he has, which will be big for your lineup on Thursday evening.
That one's he's got to find the play. Oh, foul ball. So everybody will come back.
There's some question whether he touched that ball while he was in fair territory or not.
It's where the ball is.
I know, but take a look.
Take a look at the replay.
Okay.
Looked like he was reaching over. It was close. But Allmeyer gets another shot. As now they're playing him to pull. As the protective gear comes off. Strike 2. Down to their last strike.
Tyler, here we go.
Ware against Allmeyer here, bottom of the 7th. That's served out into right field. Is it going to be caught? It is caught by Moore. Did he drop it, or did
he dropped his hat?
Oh, he dropped his hat.
Yeah.
Caught by Moore, and that is the end of the ball game.
Heritage Christian
11-5 is your final for Covenant
11-5.
Christian. Winning pitcher is Brock Buckley. Losing pitcher is Quincy Harper. They'll play again on Thursday.
Have a great
game 2 of this 2-game series as both teams shake hands. And, give me something from each team, Troy, that you can take with you for the next meeting here in 2 days.
Well, Heritage, I think that is just one of those nights. They made the mistakes early, and I thought maybe they're going to start to make that comeback, but then they had that rough inning again, and they're just a better baseball team than what you saw tonight. I don't think there's any doubt about that. You don't have a team hitting the way they do. It just wasn't there tonight, and Buckley pitched well. They took advantage of the mistakes early, and I've seen them do that now twice, where the team makes mistakes, they come back and take full advantage of it, scored runs. They hit better tonight. They took advantage of opportunities on the base paths, and just overall it was a big win for them.
And then on Covenant's side, you got to, if you're Coach, Stevenson, you got to like the way they hit the ball tonight, and hopefully that can carry over not just to Thursday, but for the rest of the season.
Well, and again, they're a team that is kind of up and down right now. I don't think they've had an opportunity to play as much as they would like. They've had a couple of games that have been rained out and such, but you can see that the confidence they play with when Buckley's on the mound is they just know that he's going to get the job done. And when you can have somebody that you can count on like that, I think it exudes confidence all the way up and down the lineup. We saw what the bottom of the lineup did, getting on base, guys that were putting the ball in play. I think that's what the difference is I saw the most tonight from what I saw a week ago against Guerin, is they didn't stand at the plate watching pitches go by. They were up swinging, and that made a big difference for them tonight.
Speaking of Guerin, we will be back here on Monday as Heritage Christian takes on Guerin in Circle City play. So there you have it, the final here from Heritage Christian. The Eagles fall to Covenant Christian 11-5. I'd like to thank our cameraman, Nick Lewis, our producer, Ben Wood, my compadre here, Troy Derengowski. I am Sean Kroll. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night and God bless.